Hey, it's Curly. Welcome back to starting Zero from Zero. Last time we ended up getting blue stacks, downloading the game, going through the tutorials, and finally getting to a point where the game leaves us alone for the most part and lets us do our own thing. I wanted to go over a few things this time around. I'm trying to break these up as much as possible just so I don't overwhelm with so much information at the get-go. But like many other mobile games, there's a lot of login rewards, so just stuff you get just for logging in, and it's just an incentive to, you know, log in every day, at least go on the app once every day. This one here with Chrono, the dude with the red swirly hair, this one is something that you'll always get no matter what. The other ones that we'll see after this are login or event logins, but this just gives you just stuff every day. One every day. Some of them are useful, some of them are not. Fighter medals are, you know, pretty good reward. My room coins, completely useless. Skip tickets are pretty good, wish they would give you more of those. But just wanted to mention that. Following that, we have the new and returning player campaign. So this is a campaign that is going on right now, either if you started the game brand new, or if you played the game, I think, like 4 months from when basically like this video started and you just started playing again, something around that time. I'm not really super sure about the time frame. There is a campaign going on this month in order to allow you to catch up, you know, to where everyone is. And one of the things that they give you here, as you can see, they give you the GSD medal that I was talking about in the previous video, which gives you a G structure deck, which is very good because it's basically a deck that you can exchange with this medal, and it'll have everything you need to just start playing at pretty much the same level, that about the same level that everyone is right now, right? You also get 100 free gacha tickets, which is for the like secondary gacha, which we'll go over eventually. And then you get these coupons, which you can actually exchange for either sleeves, but also more importantly, you can also exchange them for cards. A lot of cards, usually like triple rares that you can get that come out from rank rewards, which we'll talk about in a bit, you can exchange with these. They start out usually at 50 coupons, but then they come up to 100. So theoretically, you can get yourself at least 2 of these. So it's better than nothing. Then we have this overdress campaign here, which is specific for the anime. So this is just going on right now while the anime is airing. It's going to end in October, the end of October on Halloween actually. And this just gives you a bunch of overdress coupon tickets, which we'll go over in a little bit, but that's just for like cosmetics and stuff. Yeah, I think you can get some packs from it. Then here we have here the login for 7 days. So this is a campaign that happens all the time after a new pack, or sorry, yeah, a new box is dropped. They'll give you this campaign throughout the month of that new box, where it'll just give you a couple of free packs. Mainly the first 2 days where they give you 15 packs collectively, and then afterwards you get a total of 5 more packs. Overall, getting 20 packs throughout the entire week. Or 7 days that you've logged in, I should say, specifically. And then I think finally we have the championship campaign here. This one's a really good one because you can exchange these tokens here. This is just an event that's going on right now. So if you're watching this in the future, the last 2 events that we just went over, maybe the last 3, well, you'll still get the pack one. You won't get the overdress one, unless it comes back again. And in this event, it's only specifically right now. But it's a really nice campaign because a lot of the characters that are featured in this campaign have an increased rate to drop materials, which is really cool. And you also get some of these coins whenever you face them, which then lets you, I think, also exchange for packs and stuff, which, love me some packs, right? But now with all that out of the way, we can actually start the game. I did a lot of things yesterday, although it might not look like it because I still have all my stamina. I wanted to go ahead and sort of get some of this stuff out of the way, but I needed to pick a deck because I basically have to either go into boxes and get a deck, or I have to use one of the tokens to get a deck, or I just use the deck that they give me because I need to go through the character fights. Unfortunately, the deck you start out with is not good for any of this stuff. But another thing I wanted to mention, 2 things, is VP and also the rank rewards, which we don't have at the moment, but I'll get back to that in a second for both of those. That's why we have the little message right there. But yes, everything you got from your campaigns will be here in the gift box, so you can go ahead and just claim that. And my main priority right now is to finish up all of these time-limited missions that we have here, because a couple of these are actually expiring very recently. Again, if you're watching this in the future after they're expired, make sure you check the time-limited missions and see when they're expired. Because, for example, there was a time where they gave you missions and they just gave you 50 free packs for 1 box, right? But that expired halfway through the month. So just make sure you always check these. For example, these Super Deck ones never expire, but for example, there's one here. These Overdressed ones are expiring, next month. This one to get Blaster Blade doesn't expire until the year 3000, so that's fine. But for example, there's these here, these like playmat ones that expire at the end of the month. And then there's also the campaign ones here, which gives you all these tokens, which expire basically at the end of the month on the 27th. So I want to get through these as quickly as I can, just to make sure I get those. But in order to do most of those, I need a deck that I can actually play with. And I wasn't really sure what deck to use. And I went to Twitter and I asked, basically, me personally, I was considering playing Pale Moon. Pale Moon is one of my favorite clans, but I played that a lot in my previous account. So I figured instead of doing that, even though the G-Structure deck for Pale Moon is actually pretty good, instead of doing that, let's just start with something completely different. And I figured I should probably take my own advice here, and I, was giving myself the choice between the 4 decks that I always tell everyone to, or 4 clans that I always tell new players to select from: Gear Chronicle, Royal Paladins, Shadow Paladins, and Kagura. So I did a poll on Twitter, and it actually came out pretty close, but Gear Chronicle won. So we're just going to go ahead and build Gear Chronicle, which is fine, because out of those 4, Gear Chronicle is probably the one that I would have ended up choosing if I were given the choice, right? But I wouldn't have minded, picking any of the other ones just because I'm not super familiar. Like, I have played Royals, Shadows, Kagura. I have played them, but not extensively. Likewise with Gear Chronicle, but I will be doing that here. I guess really quickly, we do have daily missions that you can go through. Depending on your time zone, there's 3 different times that you can get stamina. You don't have to, actually claim the stamina. You just have to log in during that time and you'll have the reward there. You just have to claim it before the new day starts. I am an EST for my time zone. A new day starts for me at 8 a.m. EST. So I have to make sure I finish all of my rewards before then, because then everything resets. Yo! As for these 3 stamina things that they give you, you get one straight at 8 in the morning when it resets. You get another one if you log in after, I believe, 2 o'clock or something like that. And then you get the last one after 12 o'clock. So the second one might be actually closer to 4 o'clock, because it's more closer to the end of the day. But obviously if you're in PT, it tells you the time right there, but convert it for whatever time zone you have. And just, try to get these whenever you can. Same goes for these this quest here, which gives you gems. You always want to do this, because you'll always get, 30 gems daily. And while 30 gems alone is not a lot, but if you get that daily, that does add up. Throughout a week, you get 7 days in the week, you get 30 gems throughout the week. You got yourselves a decent amount of gems, right? And you do that in a month, you got some gems. You're obviously not going to go through an entire box with that, but hey, you got something, right? But in order to get that one, you have to do these missions here. And you just need to do any 3 of these, and then, you'll get the this daily completed. That's what they call these. They're daily missions. They refresh every day, daily. As I was saying, what I was doing is, well, it looks like I haven't done a lot. I actually spent a lot of time playing in the challenge fight here, which is something that I had mentioned in my free-to-play video guide, which is just a section that you can actually get gems for, which maybe a lot of the newer players might not know. But back in the day, when this game first released, whenever a new set would drop, they actually included a couple of challenge fights that you can do. So you just fight against the computer using the decks that were just released within that set to sort of test them out. And every time you completed one, you got 20 gems. I did that for the entire first page. And while at first it was kind of fun, playing with these older decks and, you know, playing with the older characters and all that stuff, after I realized there was 38 of these on the first page, I was just like, holy cow, this is going to take forever. But as you can see here from the menu, when you go here, it'll say that there's 99 right now for my screen. Before I completed the 38th, I have 99 plus, which, since there was 38 of them, I'm assuming the entirety of that is about 137 challenge fights. And since they each give you 20 gems, that's almost 3,000 gems you can get from this. The exact number is, you know, 2740, 2,740 gems, but that's still a pretty decent number. But it is a lot of fights to go through. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, without any more delay, as I had mentioned, you get the 2 Super Deck tokens that you can exchange for Super Decks, and you get the 1 G Structure Deck token that you can exchange. One of the Super Decks is actually in a mission that you have to do, and then the G Super Deck and then the 1 free Super Deck they give you for free as a login bonus. So we can go here. You can just go to shop as I went, and then go to item exchange in order to use these tokens. They have a lot of different things you're going to exchange for. Eventually we'll go through most of them, but there should be one that says G Super Deck here. And we can go through most of these. Again, I have a video that we went through each one of these, but really quickly, this is the Gear Chronicle one. As you can see, I obviously don't have any of these cards, but what's really important is that it gives you a lot of these GR cards, or cards in your G zone, which if you've played anything like Yu-Gi-Oh, this is just cards that are like in an extra deck, which are separate from the main deck, and you can use them throughout the course of the game. The reason this is really good is because a lot of the cards in the G zone are actually of the highest rarity in this game, which are GR, and these are very difficult to get. Whereas what was originally the hardest difficulty, or highest difficulty, is triple rare, which is this purple frame here. It's not as hard to get anymore. It does give you the main pieces of that you need, which is this Chrono Jet Dragon, but we'll go more in depth into that. The second lowest rarity is double rare, and it gives you a lot of good double rares. And then the third rarity is, which they might not even have in this deck, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think they even have it here, but it is the rare foiling. And then the final one is the common foiling, which both of these are usually, this might be the rare one. Yeah, this is a rare foiling, which is gray. And then the common foiling, which I don't believe they have in this deck, is super easy to craft, but obviously, in general, the higher rarity you go, the better the cards are. That's just how it is in any card game, any mobile game for that fact. We do have a lot of choices here. There's a lot of good ones. I do think that between this Super Deck and the G Super Special Deck for Gear Chronicle, you'll be really good set. The Royal Paladin one is okay. The one, if you want to, for example, jump into rank immediately, you can pick up this Neo Nectar one, which you can play this without adding any additional cards. This has everything that you need for a deck that is one of the best right now in the current meta for the ladder of this ranked in this game, right? You do not have to change a single card. The way it is perfect. So if you want to immediately hop in to ranked and start playing, the only thing you will probably change is, okay, so hold on, you will change a few cards. You will just take out these heals here for heal guards, and then swap out these 2 critical triggers here for what was originally your heal guard, or your heal. That's it. You'll just be able to go and play just with how this is, and it'll be a really good deck and win you games really easily. The next deck that is kind of around those lanes is the Grand Blue one, which very similarly, you can pretty much play this out the box. You can change a couple of cards here, mainly these 3. For other cards, there's a couple of common cards you can actually craft that you can replace these with. And then likewise, same thing, just take out the things that are heals and swap them around a little bit. In general, you can drop this guy completely. But for the most part, you can play this, and it is a very good deck. It started falling off somewhat recently, but it is a very, very good deck. So those are probably the two best super decks out of all of this, because you could just play them out the box. Other than that, for example, the Pale Moon one is actually really good if you're interested in playing Pale Moon. It gives you some pretty decent cards, and it'll be especially good if you're doing this in the next set that comes out that releases Pale Moon support, so a month from when this video is being uploaded. And other than that, Angel Feather one is alright. The Shadow Paladin one is a little bit disappointing, in my opinion. You do get 2 of this thing, but that's about it. In general, you kind of want to base it off what you want to play, and then you base it off on what it gives you, depending on what's in the G zone. That's really where the most of the money is. But obviously, you might not know this as a new player. So just stick to my recommendations and take a look at the clan video where we go over each clan and what it's like, and then you should be able to pick whichever you want. But we're going to pick a Gear Chronicle here. We're going to exchange for the Gear Chronicle one, which is going to give us all of these cards, which is great. There goes our 1G medal, or GSD medal. And then if you keep going over, you'll find the super deck page here. Now this one just gives you a sort of basic deck. It doesn't have a G zone. They're also a lot more outdated. So depending on the deck, it might not be very good for you. One of the ones that's really, really good is, for example, the Revenger one. Revengers is an archetype of Shadow Paladins that's basically been good since it released, and it's pretty much still playable to this day. So it's probably the best super deck if you only want to pick one of those. Other than that, everything else is kind of whatever. Like, if you want to play that clan, pick it up. You might as well. If you don't, like the clan, then don't pick it up because you're not really going to get anything that great. We can go ahead and exchange here for this stuff here. Not that we really need too much of this stuff. We already have the G Zone, which is why I tell everyone to get the Gear Chronicle one, because this is the only deck that actually has the G Zone. So theoretically, you're getting, not even theoretically, you're getting more cards than all the other ones in this one. But this is also the newest cards. But we do have already most of these cards. I don't think I'll end up actually playing most of these, to be honest. Now that I look at them, the only thing I would have gotten is maybe the PGs, but we already got those. So what I think I'll do, even though I believe Kagura was second in the list for the poll that I did, is what I'm trying to say. I think we will, because if you take a look here, the Kagura list is not very good. For modern day Kagura, none of these cards are really played outside from like maybe this. Actually, no, this isn't even played anymore. Yeah, so all of these cards are just, even when this deck came out, it was not very good. Like, some of the cards weren't half bad, but in general, this is one of the worst decks that had come out. Super decks, I'm saying. So even though Kagura was second, I think I'm actually going to pick up the Revenger one. Just so we can have that in our back pocket here. Unfortunately, that is our last super deck medal for now, because we have to go ahead and get the other one, which we can do from the missions here, which is right here, which is we have to do these 3 missions here, which is to just get 10,000 VP, win 10 character fights, and use the gacha 10 times. Gonna get some rewards here just from getting cards, which is fine. They really don't add up to much. These vouchers here are kind of annoying. It's something you don't really have to deal with anymore. In like as you go further away from like the older cards, because it basically is these vouchers here. They add up to 10 of them. You get one of these gacha tickets, which you can use in one of the boxes from the first year. Any of them, right? But we'll talk about that a little bit later. So what we'll do now here is we are going to finally use our deck. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Let's go here to deck building. now that we've got our deck, we can actually start playing the game, which is nice. So let's go ahead and create a new deck here. As I mentioned last time, you don't actually get those decks from the screen before, where we're saying you've unlocked all these decks. It just means that you can make those decks, because you get the characters to make them. So, as mentioned, we have Gear Chronicle here. We're going to be playing Gear Chronicle. There are a lot of cards, of course, that we do not have. But we're just going to, for the most part, just grab everything we can that we can play at the moment. These cards here are the cards that they gave us for free when we did the first Fighters Quest mission and we got to Fighters rank 1. They give us 4 copies of both of these cards, which are just, you know, basic cards that you can put in any deck. They're not super great. We're gonna play 4 Heal Guards. Heal Guards are good. Let's just switch this to Owned to make our life a little bit easier. For this, we are going to be playing a slightly outdated version of Gear Chronicle, just because it is a main, like I've mentioned, it is a main character clan, so it does get a lot of support, which is why we don't exactly have a lot of the newer stuff. But that is fine. We will make do with what we have. As for our starter, I believe, yes, this one is what all the kids play. So we'll play that one, and then we just need 2 more grade 2s to just throw in. What does this guy do? Counterblast 1? I don't know if I really want to do that. So blast 1, and we'll wait for it to attack something greater, and this actually gets power. Can I craft one of these? Okay, so I do have some of the common currency here, which is the stone here, which is very good because it lets me just craft common cards, which are really easy to craft. And we'll just craft 2 of those, throw them in there. For grade 3s, we need to pick 1 more. I guess we'll just throw this guy in as filler. And then we'll set up our triggers as Mind Draw for heal. Unfortunately, that's just how 99% of the decks in this game play. Yeah, I don't have 12 cards in my G-Zone because I'm poor at the moment. There you go. That is our first Gear Chronicle deck. Good and ready to go. The reason that I wanted to do that, getting the deck, is because I need something to actually do character fights with, right? So let's go here to the home page. So there's a bunch of character fights that I have to go through. Let's, I guess, start with the ones from the Fighters Quest, which are, for example, this guy here. I have to fight K. And then we'll move on to the one for the lifetime missions. So I'm gonna do K here, but before I do K, for the lifetime missions, you basically have to beat up all of the characters that have the up arrow for the like over 20 or under 20 championship token lifetime mission. If you're still doing this or watching this video in September 2022, anything with the up arrow, this one doesn't count, but basically anything that has the up arrow right now, you want to fight them at least 10 times. Not these 2, but these 2, these 3, this girl, not him, but this guy and this guy. So the majority of them. Unless it's a Saturday or Sunday, then everyone has the up arrow. But yeah, it's basically, if you know the anime, it's going to be the 3 team members of the main characters here. And then you get the rewards for that. But when you fight a character for the first time, you actually have to fight them. You can't quick fight them. There is a capability that is unlocked after you win a fight. We'll actually fight ourselves. You can auto fight, which the computer controls the deck for you. They are not the best with it. Sometimes they make a lot of misplays and don't play optimally, but if you're stretched for time or don't know the game very well, you can do that. But once you beat a character once through character fight, you'll unlock the quick fight feature, which just lets you skip the fight entirely and just get all the rewards anyways, which is very helpful, just because you don't have to spend too much time, you know, in the nitty gritty. I don't really know what I'm doing here with Gear Chronicle, so we're just gonna put that stuff back. My experience with Gear Chronicle is whatever I've seen in the ladder and talking with friends and whatnot. And the little bit of it that I played when it first was revealed. But this was in the first set of the Zero, where it has changed drastically. Since then, we're about, I think it's set 9 at the moment. And what I mean by Zero, for new players that might not know what I'm talking about, is that the game started out based off all the cards that were in the first series of the anime. So that's, you know, has characters with like Aichi, Kai, all those guys. That was the first version of the anime, that was just Cardfight Vanguard. And it had several different seasons. There was a Link Joker season. There was the limit. I forgot the actual names of the seasons, but there was Link Joker, and then there was the Legion one at the end. I don't remember the actual names of the seasons that they attached to it. But after that, they had a second series called Cardfight Vanguard Z. And likewise, similar to the anime, the game had an expansion to fit in this new era of Cardfight Vanguard, which is why we have 2 shops. So the older shop encompasses everything from the first iteration or the first series of Vanguard, and the second shop is for this new Cardfight Vanguard G, right? Which gave us new cards, new mechanics, so on and so forth. And that's why I was saying when that first was released, that's when I last played Gear Chronicle. So things have changed a lot. Because as you may or may not know, Chrono is the main character, so obviously his, clan and his deck are going to receive a lot of support throughout the series, which is why there's a lot of cards for this deck at the moment. Even though it is one of the brand new, it is the newest clan that was added to the game. It was the very latest one. He's going to push us to 4 here, which is pretty unfortunate. We do have this guy, which isn't exactly what we needed right now. We could do something funky here, because we can't really go into this. We could technically go into this, actually. We do have the counterblast. I forgot that's CB1, so let's go ahead and do that. Go into Chronos Command Dragon here. This guy says that I can counterblast 1, put Chrono Jet, and put that guy back in my deck. We're gonna go ahead and play this. Play this for the counter charge, and there's no point in throwing this out there at the moment. So we'll just do that for now. Let's go and swing in here. I'll swing in here. Nice, we got a heal trigger. Doesn't really matter where you put that. I believe we don't play any stands, because we don't have the stand. They usually play in this deck at the moment. So, we'll hit. Since we hit, we can Soul Blast 1, Counter Blast 2, put all his cards back in his deck. And since we did that, now they only have 1 card, so he's got to figure out to make do with that. Thankfully, he did draw into Stride Fodder, so he is able to Stride here, which is just, playing a card from the extra deck here. He's going to be able to hit a draw trigger, so this deck build is going to be able to attack into me, which is unfortunate, but that's fine. Alright. I can't go into Mixed Flare. There's no point in going into next stage. So let's go into Lost Age here. Just cause. Let's not use that, because we can use that for free. We'll use this, perhaps, and maybe this, and this. I know I can, attack with this guy, pick her, and, Time Leap her. I'm not super familiar with how these Time Leap shenanigans work, regretfully. But I will learn them as we go on. We're gonna hit a heal trigger, which is nice. We're gonna heal over here. We're gonna hit another heal trigger, which isn't as great. And then that automatically goes to the bottom of the deck. We're gonna swing in here. We won't use the ability because hopefully that will be game. Nope. they actually have a PG to guard with. Okay. Let's see if they can. Well, they top deck another, maybe not top deck, but they managed to get another stride fodder here. And they'll go into. Ooh, I would almost be in danger. Because that does have a guard restrict on it. But we should be able to win the match next game. Because my opponent has no cards in hand here. See what he gets, unless he checks 2 triggers, which he misses chance of doing. There, it pushes to 4 here. Which is quite fine. And now we can actually go into next stage. Because why the heck not? Even though it should end the game regardless. Sure, we'll put that back. And let's play this. No point using your skill. And we'll just swing in here. And swing in here. I believe the character fights, they really only have like 1 PG, 1 heal max, I think. So, should be fine here. There we go. Hey, there we go. We got our first character fight done. And that's basically what I'm going to be doing from between this video and the next one. Is I'm just going to go through a bunch of these character fights now that we finally got the deck unlocked. Once we have the missions done, those missions, then we can start going over some of the other things, like the boxes and all the other things that I want to get through. But I'll try again. I'm not trying to like make a 3-hour-long video and start to like trickle this and go as I go. But you can see here now that we've beaten this level on very hard, we can actually just quick fight it now, where we can just go ahead and just skip the fight using our stamina, and it gives us the materials, which is very helpful. So you don't have to sit there and A, deal with both sides of the AI if you auto fight, and B, you don't have to go through each fight yourself. You're more than welcome to, but it will take a while, especially early on if you want to just grind through stuff. You just want to beat them once and get through it. I believe it's the same thing on the other side in Card Shop 1, but I think we'll go over that next time. In the meanwhile, the last thing that I want to talk about today, VP. We'll talk about rank rewards next time, but we'll talk about VP here. So you earn VP as you do character fights and story fights, as it says here. Also, if you go on ranked fights, you get VP. If you do like events, typically you will not get VP. And then you get event limited rewards are given out based on the amount of VP that you earned. And it's reset every season. Every month has 2 seasons. And they're usually 2 weeks long. So it's usually from the start of the month to the middle of the month, 14th, 15th. And then it starts again the next day until the end of the month. And you give a lot of rewards. The main rewards you want to get is you want to get up to the 100 million, or 1 million? I think it's 1 million actually. The 1 million reward here, which gives you 10 packs of the current set. So you always want to make sure you at least get that. It maxes out at 2 million. So ideally, if you can get all these packs, so you can make sure you get everything while you can, that would be great. And then towards the end of the season, the last couple of days, they actually have a small little mini event where they give you double VP. So whatever you do gives you double. So it makes it a little bit easier for you to actually, get the VP. But in general, you want to make sure that before the season ends, you get at least your 10 packs here for the set. You also get a couple of other packs here and a couple of other little rewards, which are nice. So it is beneficial to try and get as many of these as you can throughout those 2 weeks. It's another incentive to just keep you playing. But hey, at least you get stuff for it. But alright, that'll do it for now. I will go through a butt ton of character fights. To sum up what we went over today, when you log in, you get a bunch of login rewards. Some of them, one of them you get no matter what. Some of them are based off events. So make sure you log in to get those before the events end. You can always see the dates on the actual event itself, or the login reward itself. We got the G Super Deck. You get 1 medal from one of those login rewards. You get another medal for the Super Deck, which we also got. We picked Gear Chronicle for both of those. In general, I tell players to pick Gear Chronicle, Royal Paladin, Shadows, or Kagro as the clan to play as. In terms of for the G Super Deck, the best ones are the Gear Chronicle one, the Neo Nectar one, the Pale Moon one, and also the Grand Blue ones are really good. In terms for the Super Deck, it's really just the Gear Chronicle one and the Shadow Paladin one. Other than that, you get an additional Super Deck medal from doing the rewards in the lifetime missions. Make sure you check your lifetime missions and do all of them before they expire so you don't miss out on all those rewards. And I think that's about it. Giving you the TLDR, and I think that's it. We'll meet up here next time. We'll talk about some more stuff. We'll talk about rank rewards. We'll talk about any other things that I can think of. And boxes. We'll go through our first box. Until then, take care of yourself, play Vanguard, and have yourself a damn good one.